Hello, my name is Colin Wong. I am using an iPhone 13 Pro with VoiceOver as a screen reader. All right, today we're going to be looking at the Hyatt app and we're going to be searching for a room. And one of the issues that I have experienced with the Hyatt app is buttons that are labeled poorly, that takes away from the user experience and also doesn't provide me with the same access to the information. So here's the general details that you should be able to enter before the list of hotels pop up.
Adults, children, minus active 20 by 20, dim, 1, text field.
So here I'm presuming it says one adult because that's the first number that pops up. And the next field should be for children. Notice how it says minus active 20 by 20. That's an unclear label. Plus active 20 by 20. Right here, I'm using context clues to just make the assumption that this button should be to increase the amount of adults that are staying in the room.
What leads you to thinking that's for adults?
Let me go back.
Selected. Accessible, checkmark blue, accessible room, book, button, cert, button, rebook, button, favorite, Sinfred, check-in, Friday, check-out, Saturday, rooms, adults, children, adults.
So when I'm browsing through the order, it says adults or children. Or well, there's also rooms here. I mean, ideally, there should be a setting for rooms and then an input after rooms. And then same thing with adults. It should have the adults option and then a way to input the number after adults. And then same with children here. I guess this one could actually refer to the room rather than the adults. But again, I'm just having to base it off context clues. So I guess it could indicate one room rather than one adult, and maybe the next one indicates adult. Is mainly based off guessing and context clues. And then, it says the plus, so I'm assuming that's going to increase the value. But like active 20 by 20, I'm not sure what that's referring to. And then that's the same for the minus button as well. So it's extraneous information that makes it confusing to understand what the button's purpose is. So let's press this button. So that changes the room. Let's try the same thing.
Minus active 1, text plus active 20 by 22, text field, minus active 20 by 20.
So one adult here.
20 by 20.
But same thing, this button that changes the value also says active 20 by 20 plus active 20 by 20. And I guess the fact that I got to 0, I'm assuming that's children. But again, there's nothing really that indicates. It makes the user have to memorize what the order was in order to interact with it. So here's another confusing portion. So this is a check box. It says check mark blue inactive.
Selected. Check mark blue inactive. Button.
So when you select it, it says it's selected, but it also still says it's inactive.
Selected. Check mark blue inactive.
So it still says check mark blue inactive according to the screen reader. So what it should do is it should, say active when it's actually selected. This is another confusing portion because it isn't clear whether the button is actually selected or not. The screener said it might possibly be selected, but according to the settings that's on the screen, on the Hyatt end, it's saying that it's still an inactive selection.
And do you know what that selection is for? Accessible rooms. Selected. Show world of Hyatt points and awards. Checkmark blue inactive. Show world selected. Accessible room plus active 20.
I'm assuming it's for the accessible rooms because it's the setting right after it. the user experience could be better if the inputs were after the exact settings. Um, when selecting the room, adults and children. And then at the bottom here, it would be a lot clearer if when you toggle the setting, um, the status of the setting is actually reflected properly.
So when you're going through a booking experience like this, have you ever gotten to a point where, you were unable to tell from the contacts what it was you were booking?
Yes, that's definitely happened. And, usually I can tell by how much the room costs, but if that's not a strong enough indicator, then I might be able to tell at the order summary. But what happens is I would have to go back a page or two in order to fix the mistake. And what happens is it can reset all the information that I've already inputted. I found calling and going through customer service has been an easier option because the app or website has been been such a negative experience.